will live, obviously, Jeff, in very volatile and uncertain times. I think the thing that gives me confidence for the time ahead is the fact that we have a very well-balanced and diversified portfolio across the globe. We're talking here about 78 facilities in 23 different countries. So yes, there's inflationary pressures, especially in Europe and in the US, and depending on market circumstances, we are in a sometimes better or less favorable position to pass them on in good cooperation and discussion with our customers. But all in all, I think what you have to keep in mind is when oil is down in certain parts of the world, gas is up. When Europe is under pressure, then Asia is doing better. When China is in lockdown, we see the US and the Middle East performing better. So all in all, you see that the power and the strength of a diversified portfolio is helping really well. And I would say next to that, I think it's very, very important to realize that what the world needs today is that critical infrastructure at strategic locations. We're talking about security of supply. We're talking about challenges on decarbonizing large industrial complexes. And there again, it plays into critical infrastructure at strategic locations. So having those 78 facilities in 23 countries is enormously helpful to play a pivotal role. So all in all, if I look at it, I think as a company, we've been able to play an important role in 2022, handling with care the energy and materials that society needs, and very proud of the role that we can play in investing in new infrastructure that help us to a sustainable future. So that's I think, the story on Vopak.
Always good to see you, sir. You talk about strategic infrastructure in critical places or in the key places. Have you noticed any change in the European mindset? The NIMBYism in Europe that kind of wants the strategic security but actually doesn't want to put it in their own backyard?
Well, I think what you see happening in Europe, first and foremost, I think if you talk to a lot of players in Europe, people are in general looking with a lot of excitement also about the opportunities in the US because of the IRA. So you see definitely investments that are eyeing opportunities in the US. At the same time, the European chemical industry, or in general the industry, is still something that has definitely been seen as a strength. And having that critical infrastructure in some of the key locations, the key ports around Europe, you see definitely a lot of opportunities still, whether that's on the LNG side, whether that's on the sustainable products, so the new energy products and sustainable feedstocks. Quite a lot of investments are happening, and people are willing to still invest a significant amount of money in Europe. So we're confident in that, but there's still a lot of work to do, as you can imagine.
I thought it was quite damning, I'm going to be honest, Dick, my words, not yours, that as soon as I asked you about Europe, you mentioned IRA as well. Europe at an institutional level needs to get its act together quickly so that a limited amount of capital will not find itself on the other side of the Atlantic if indeed it is more needed in terms of energy security on this side of the Atlantic, surely.
Well, there's obviously an element of that you want to balance the carrot and the stick, and I think what is happening really well at the moment in the US is the incentive program that will, as I said, that will attract some investments into the US, and I think Europe is trying to put a package together that is attractive enough also to secure longer-term investments in the areas that are really needed in Europe. And again, as I said, I'm confident that will happen. I'm confident that in the end the market and the industry forces will in the end sort this out and find the right investment opportunities as well in Europe as they find them in the US. Europe is too important to not and to ignore that in any sense.